for Calgary Rocky Ridge for his right of reply, or invite him asking for his right of reply. The honourable member for Calgary Rocky Ridge has up to 5 minutes for those remarks. The honourable member.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and it is a tremendous honour and privilege to be able to sponsor a bill in this place. And I first of all want to acknowledge and thank the work of Senator Percy Down for his passion on this issue and for bringing this bill, obtaining unanimous support in the other place for this bill, and giving me the opportunity to sponsor it here in this House. I want to thank my dear friends, the member for Edmonton Riverbend and the member for Calgary Nose Hill for their speeches tonight. I also want to thank my friend, the member for Calgary Shepherd, who spoke in the first hour of debate on this bill, and indeed the other members who spoke, in particular the members for Rimouski who spoke tonight, and the member for Sherbrooke in the first hour, and for their support on this bill. I do thank the member for Châteauguay-Lacolle and Winnipeg North, and the Parliamentary Secretary for National Revenue, who also participated in debate. This bill will allow the Parliamentary Budget Officer to measure a problem that all parties acknowledge exists. As the member from Rimouski put it, the Auditor General has repeatedly called out the Canada Revenue Agency for not being able to, for one thing, for not treating Canadians the same as they treat those that file offshore. But also, when he said that, it reminded me of how the CRA, in its own self-audit, believed that its call center was operating just fine. It took a report from the Auditor General to reveal that it was a complete disaster. And now we are to take the CRA, without giving the Parliamentary Budget Officer the tools that they have asked for, we are asking them to, with the information that they aggregate and hand over, to be the final word on the scope and scale of this problem. That's not acceptable. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for Canadians, and that is really just more of the same. And I will say that the Parliamentary Secretary, I must take exception to her castigating my motives as a Conservative in bringing, under private members' business, this bill to this chamber. It's as if she has said, as was pointed out by the member for Nose Hill, that, well, shame on the Conservatives. They didn't do this for all 10 years that they were in. Shame on them for saying now that this is important, even as they plan to vote against this bill. Only a Liberal could say so and not understand the hypocrisy and ridiculousness of that position. I was not a part of the former Parliament, and you know, the previous government, despite its incredible track record and the fact that Canadians are yearning now for a return of Conservatives, I am very comfortable in admitting here in this place that not every single problem of government, not every single problem under the sun was solved during the 10 years of the Conservative government. 10 years wasn't a long enough time to undo everything from the previous Liberals before it. It wasn't long enough to solve every problem in the world. And so let's please, when a Conservative tables a bill or brings in a bill that all parties ought to support, that each speaker on the Liberal side claimed they supported the motivation behind it and claimed to care about the problem that it solves, and yet come up with excuse after excuse after excuse, which is all we heard in the Parliamentary Secretary's speech, for why they just shouldn't do it and shouldn't bother. So shame on them if they do, as has been indicated to me by the Minister, if they reject this bill tonight. But I do again want to thank Percy Down for his advocacy on this, and thank all members that participated in the debate on this bill.